Hi everyone, this is Laura Gadenik with Laura Gadenik Astrology, and I'm here to give you the astrology for the weeks of October 18th through the 31st, 2021. So there's a lot going on this upcoming week especially, and the following. So starting on Monday, the 18th, which is tomorrow, day after I'm recording this video, we have Mercury finally stationing direct. So Mercury's been in retrograde for the past 3 weeks or so. It's stationing direct at 10 degrees of Libra. So the last time that Mercury was here was on September 7th. So basically we have been revisiting everything from September 7th to the 27th. The 27th is when Mercury stationed retrograde and started moving backwards. So that time frame, September 7th through the 27th, we have been revisiting, reviewing, reflecting on, going back over so that we can do it again, but in a better, maybe more sophisticated way that works for you and whoever else is involved. And I say that because this Mercury retrograde was happening in Libra, sign of relationship, sign of peace, harmony, getting along, unity, which has been kind of a struggle for a lot of people, especially since Venus has been in Scorpio during a lot of that time, Venus being the ruler of Libra. She's now in Sagittarius. And also because Mars has been in the sign of Libra as well. Mars being in detriment in the sign of Libra. Remember, Mars wants to do its own thing, wants independence, wants autonomy, and Libra says we have to do it together. So there's been a lot of tension in relationship matters, whether that's a romantic relationship, a friend, a business partner, whoever it is, a lot of stuff has been coming up with relationships and I also it could be like a creative collaborator as well. Libra is a pretty creative sign. So with Mercury stationing direct, we are now covering the same kind of ground for the third and final time. And I believe Mercury will be out of its shadow on November 2nd. So basically we'll be kind of revisiting the September 7th through the 27th period for the third and final time up until November. So things should start moving forwards again. Things should stop breaking down. That's definitely a Mercury retrograde quality, is things breaking down, things taking slower, things literally breaking apart, things feeling like they're going backwards, miscommunications, mishaps, kind of misagreements or agreements that aren't working. We're finding agreements that will work through the Mercury stationing direct and moving forwards. So that's Monday the 18th. We also have Mars in Libra making a trine to Jupiter in Aquarius. This is one of the positive aspects that Mars is making this week because he gets into a little bit of trouble later in the week, which I'll get into. But this is really a day of optimism, of bravery, of courage, possibly courage in relationships because these two planets are in air signs, which are air signs are about relationships and building bridges with other people. But yeah, you might just feel like you want to get out and about, go on a hike, be outside, go on an adventure, do something inspiring or uplifting, or do like a hardcore workout or something like that. The energy is definitely very potent for having a lot of kind of physical vitality and energy. Okay, so Tuesday the 19th, we have Venus in Sagittarius making a sextile to Saturn. Venus can, other than relationships, she can be about creative projects, collaborations, pleasure. Saturn is, our responsibilities and our duties and ambitions and obligations. So this is a time where you might really enjoy your work, really enjoy what you're doing. And if you do have a creative project that you're working on, this is a good day for focus and for commitment to a creative project. So if you have a creative goal in mind, Tuesday's the day to really set aside some time to work on that, because you will have the endurance. Okay. Wednesday, the 20th, this is where things get a little more chaotic. So we have a full moon in Aries. We have the full moon at 27 degrees of Aries, which is squaring Pluto in Capricorn. So Mars is the ruler of Aries, and Mars is currently in the sign of Libra, the sign opposite of Aries, and the sign of Mars's detriment. So, and on top of that, this full moon is not too far away from being conjoined to Mars in Libra. So what this kind of feels to me like is needing to be tactful in a high intensity situation. Libra, which is where the sun is, Libra wants to make peace. Libra wants to make sure connection is maintained. Libra wants unity, wants everyone to feel heard and feel okay, right? Aries, on the other hand, which is where the full moon is happening, where the moon will be, is about independence, autonomy, doing your own thing, thinking about me, me first, essentially. And with Mars, the ruler of this full moon in Libra, this is really about how can we maintain our independence and individuality and autonomy while in maybe a tricky relationship situation, or while in relationships in general. And there's going to be something about this that will be unearthed or revealed, because that's what Pluto does. Pluto is a planet that digs up and, pulls out all the muck out of the closet, or sweeps things from out under the rug and reveals. So, if you haven't been honest with another person about your needs and desires and what you want, because that's what Mars is all about. Mars is a planet about what you want, and Mars works for you. And in Libra, it struggles doing that, because it has to take everyone else into consideration, or at least another person. So, unearthing or revealing what you need and desire and want in a relationship situation, and whether or not you've been honest about that up until this point will determine how intense this transit is for you. We've been having relationship issues the past couple of weeks, or I shouldn't say issues, but matters. It's been, we've had to work together with others in a way that might have been challenging. So this has been going on for the past couple of weeks, once again, because Venus has been in Scorpio, Mars has been in Libra, we've had this Mercury retrograde in Libra. So this is not necessarily a new story. It's kind of a continuation of what's been going on. And this full moon is about things coming to a head and really, really digging to reveal your truth in a relationship situation while maintaining peace and still having to work together in some way, maybe being forced to work together. Okay, so this is going to impact, by the way, cardinal signs the most. So the cardinal signs are Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer. I did those out of order, but it doesn't matter. So, and especially if you have your sun or moon or rising sign or any planet really near 27 degrees of the cardinal signs, you will feel this more potently. And then, Thursday, the 21st, that's when Mars makes the square to Pluto. So this really feels kind of like power struggles, particularly in relationships. And a deep dive in how we can, once again, it's kind of a follow-up on the full moon. How can we maintain independence and still get along, really, is what it's about. Okay, so Friday the 22nd, we have the sun heading into the sign of Scorpio, that's marking the middle of autumn, the middle of fall. This is the time of year where things are going to seed and things are dying. The harvest is over. We're heading into the darkness of winter. So, that is, and so that kind of denotes to Scorpio heading into the darkness of a situation or a matter, and really having that investigative instinct, I guess you could say, and desire to seek what's beneath the surface of things, and to dig and to research, and to kind of go into the darkness, into dark places, perhaps even darker topics. Okay, so, and there's a lot more I could say about that, but I need to move on. So Tuesday the 26th, we have Venus in Sagittarius squaring Neptune in Pisces. Venus, once again, relationships, love, beauty, sex, romance, pleasure. Neptune is about the dream, the fantasy, what we glamorize. This is a highly romantic aspect. There's a real enthusiasm about love, about connection. There's definitely a rose-colored glasses effect, so just be aware of that. That doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it. It just means that, maybe don't decide to get married on this day, or propose, or make any big long-term relationship decisions on this day, because Neptune tends to once again glamorize, make things appear very dreamy, very beautiful. It has kind of a mystifying effect. There's a lot of idealism in love. So it's a really good day to go on a date. Hopefully all the tension from the full moon has dissipated at this point, and this Venus Neptune aspect might even involve someone else. It doesn't have to. It probably won't, or could, not be connected to the full moon in Aries with Mars and Libra situation. That might be a totally different thing. So, Tuesday, it's a good day to relax. It's a good day to be creative, tuning into something otherworldly and beautiful. Once again, going on a date, letting yourself fall in love, really. I think it's going to be really, really nice. And that's kind of also, that's the vibe or the energy really through Wednesday and Thursday, because on Thursday the 28th, Venus in Sagittarius makes a sextile to Jupiter in Aquarius. So Venus and Jupiter are the two benefics in astrology. They bring good fortune, good luck, good things. They're very generous, and they're just really good feeling planets. So once again, this is a time period, especially on Thursday and building up to Thursday, of being enthusiastic in love, being optimistic, being really hopeful, perhaps inspired, maybe extravagant. If you're one to overindulge, and that's a problem for you, be mindful of this day on the 28th, because there's definitely going to be the tendency or desire to overindulge. If you're one that doesn't usually let yourself loose, and you're a bit more restrictive with yourself, this could be a really good day for you to let yourself enjoy something that you wouldn't normally. So it's going to be really, really, really lovely time. Okay, so Saturday, the 30th of October, Mars heads into Scorpio. So whenever any planet goes into Scorpio, it's automatically triggering the Saturn-Uranus square, which we've been experiencing all year. Saturn is about our commitments, obligations, duties, ambitions, things that require hard work and discipline. And Uranus is a planet of wanting to break free from all of that, really. Uranus innovates, it helps us to progress something, to change it for the better. But it can be disruptive, it can be kind of like this tug of war feeling of, maybe Saturn representing you feeling stuck somewhere, having to do something out of obligation, and Uranus is, that planet that is poking you to just leave it all behind and let go and break free. And in some circumstances or situations that might be appropriate and might be a good thing to kind of innovate your commitments so that they work better for you. In other situations, Uranus making this square to Saturn could be detrimental, and you could be kind of self-sabotaging what you're working towards. So, and it's going to be different for everyone depending on where this is happening for you in your chart. So anyway, so Mars heading into Scorpio is really triggering this Saturn-Uranus square. So Mars is going to square Saturn and oppose Uranus over the next couple of weeks, and I'll get more into that later. But Mars is really strong in the sign of Scorpio. There's going to be a sense of strong endurance, of being able to pull through something, really being able to sustain your energy. Your Scorpio house, whatever house that is for you, should get kind of a boost of energy, but it's going to be conflicted with whatever your Taurus house is and with whatever your Aquarius house is. And the best way to kind of describe the tension is Mars is a planet that wants to push on the gas. It wants to go, go, go. And Saturn is a planet that stops us, that puts on the brakes. So, we have these two planets that are really kind of archetypally butting heads. And this is once again going to involve those two houses. Your Scorpio house is going to want to go, go, go. And your Saturn house is going to be like, whoa, 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 stop. Or you can't do that because you have to do X, Y, and Z. Or this is your long-term goal. Like Mars can be more about short-term goals, and Saturn is about, well, what about the long-term plan? So, and you have to make it work, right? Because a square, Mars is squaring Saturn. Squares, you can't just walk away from that conflict. You have to find a way to make it work, and it can really generate a lot of productivity. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. Mars, Uranus, on the other hand, these are both highly excitable, energetic planets. It can feel this. It can kind of accentuate, I think is the right word, the feeling of wanting to break free from something, wanting to escape. So be mindful of that. That's going to happen in a couple of weeks. But once Mars heads into Scorpio on Saturday the 30th, you might be feeling this energy pretty immediately. You might feel it intensely, and it's going to just build up over the next couple of weeks. And I'll talk more about it as it gets closer. On the same day, on Saturday the 30th, the Sun in Scorpio makes a square to Saturn in Aquarius at 7 degrees. The Sun, whenever the Sun makes an aspect, it is bringing light to something. It's illuminating something. So in general, this could feel like you have to apply a lot of discipline. Saturn, right? Discipline, and just not wanting to as much. And I'm kind of building off of that, also that Venus lingering square to Neptune and the sextile to Jupiter. Venus and Jupiter and Neptune do not want to work hard at all. They want to like chill out, relax, connect, have a party. But Saturn is always like, no, you have shit to do. You can't go to a party, So, it's going to be a day of hard work, perhaps some hard lessons, maybe a sense of limitation or restraint. Could feel a little heavy. I'm kind of hesitant to like say that it's going to be that heavy, because Scorpio, especially with Mars there, Scorpio is a hardworking sign that is very stable, consistent, steady, steadfast, especially with Mars there. So I don't think it's going to be really that I don't think the sense of limitation or restraint is going to be that intense, honestly. But you might notice it still. Okay. Sunday the 31st, Mercury in Libra makes a trine to Jupiter in Aquarius at 22 degrees of Libra and Aquarius. This is a day of inspired thought, of inspired ideas, idealism, really feeling optimistic and positive and upbeat, perhaps like having a desire to engage and talk around philosophy, religion, kind of higher mind concepts. Good day for studying something of the higher mind, or something esoteric, or even something like law. Jupiter rules over law. If you have to have a difficult conversation with someone, I would say the 31st is a great day to do so, because Jupiter is really helping Mercury out and lending a hand and being a bit more generous, perhaps, or jovial, or extending mercy rather than like justice necessarily, even though Libra is the sign of letter of the law. You said you would do this thing, so you can't break your word, but Jupiter's a bit more merciful. So that's going to be a really nice day. And you'll also feel that Mercury trine Jupiter a couple days ahead of time. Always, as a general rule of thumb, apply these aspects 1 to 2 days before they happen, because it's not necessarily the day of that you feel the energy. Often it's a day before or 2 days before. So just keep that in mind. If you're curious about how this all lands in your personal birth chart, I am happy to do a consultation to go over your birth chart with you. It's going to impact everyone differently. This is just a very general overview of the astrology. That does impact people the same in some ways archetypally, but once we look at your chart, it can be much more specific to you and your life. So please reach out if that's of interest to you. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful 2 weeks, and I will be back in 2 weeks for another astrological weather report. Okay.